Hi, welcome to the round 22 review here on the Blue Broad YouTube channel as the Carlton Football Club get done by the Gold Coast Suns. 11 goals, 8, 74 to 13 goals, 15, 93 in front of, look, they say it was 24,000. I don't know. There's something about the figures this year that just seem a little off to me, but whatever. What an interesting week. Shocks and surprises and sprinklings of youth and narrative shifts all throughout the week. I started the week, to be honest, thinking I wasn't going to go to the game. I thought we would get pulverized in this game at the start of the week. To be honest with you, I gave us absolutely no chance. I thought the Suns have the top 4 chance in front of them if they want it. They've got so much more to play for, and they're just a better team. And yeah, I was pretty nervous about it. And given the state of Carlton and where it's at, I wasn't very confident about the game. And then we got the news that Vossi would be backed. Not extended. He would just see out his contract, and it was the first of a number of decisions that are still to be made. We've been waiting in this period of limbo for quite some time now, just sort of waiting for Graham Wright to start, waiting for the 15th of August, waiting to see what's coming. I mean, we have been really just riding out this season since from eight or so weeks out. I think after the North game, we've all, well, not all, some if not most, have just been riding it out until the changes come and we can move on with it. And now we're getting closer and closer. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Maybe we can touch on that towards the end of this video. I actually was really curious to see if the pressure would release from Voss a little bit. And I felt like it did in his pre-game press conference. And then I was even more curious to see if it would rub off from the players in the game. So I ended up going solo and then just trusting whatever was sitting around me to make some friends, which is exactly what happened. I bumped into a man named Des, who is a long-time viewer of the channel, on the train on the way to the game. Now, Des used to be in the Navy for this country. He had been stationed in East Timor, and he was. And the reason why I bring him up because we're talking about Vossi and the coach and keeping him, and he made a really interesting point which really stuck with me. I mean, it was the first memory of the journey to the footy, and he was talking about how important it is to have a capable team around you. So obviously there's the team on the field, but we were talking about the assistant coaches. And now that we know that Vossi's going to be coaching, at the start of 2026, there's an assumption that there are going to be different assistants around him. And Des was talking about how important it is. You need to have everybody around you. First of all, very capable, and then secondly, you've got to be able to trust them, and thirdly, there's no room for error. You can't be making a mistake. Now, when it comes to war, a mistake could be the difference between life or death. So it's very extreme. But the point he was trying to make was, if you don't have capable people around you, you will falter. So I thought that was a really interesting start to the journey, and it just got me thinking about the situation. And then, I don't know if those of you who've been watching for a while, you'll remember Jack De Gabriele. He used to call in a couple of years back, lives in Malta. He was at the footy. He's here for 5 to 6 weeks. So I got to meet Jack finally after a few years. So that was cool. I went in expecting to lose. I went in trying to lower my expectations just so I could enjoy the footy. Because if I put the expectations on, I get miserable. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the performances. Obviously, at this point in the year, I've accepted that the season's cooked. But just looking for sprinklings of the future. Is there anything that happens on the field which, in my mind, gives me some sort of confidence that this player or this theme or this issue can be something that we can move forward with? And I guess I'm looking for hope. Hope for something towards a premiership one day. First quarter, I thought maybe the first 10 minutes I'll give them. I thought the first 10 minutes was solid. I thought we were competitive. I thought the umpires were way too involved in the game in the first quarter, and I thought that was a theme of the game. I personally felt that, I think I saw Stevic give away a free kick against George Hewitt potentially, but he caught it from 80 metres away, and I was sitting on the wing, and so we're all looking, the whistle's being blown, and we're looking over there. We're like, what are you, like, it's got nothing to do with you. I don't know why you're calling that, but yeah, there were just moments that were frustrating. But yeah, the intensity from the Blues was there, and then to be honest, I thought from after the 10-minute mark of the first quarter, all the way until pretty much three-quarter time, I thought we were dominated by the Suns. I was curious to see if they could assert the same dominance that we saw Brisbane assert against us at Marvel Stadium or Collingwood the week before, and yeah, I think they did once we got to the third. But there were some good moments throughout. Thought Frank Evans competed at such a high level. He had a mismatch. He kicked a couple of goals early in the game, and then all of a sudden Mac Andrews on there. So the Suns had the mismatch there, but he competed so well. It was really, really cool to see him in the flesh and the way that he competed. You can talk about the size difference, but he just played to his strengths, and it's just amazing when a player has the mentality to win their individual battle at all costs, how likely they are to win that battle more times than not. So I was really, really pleased with him. I liked Cooper Lord and his role in Noah Anderson. Noah Anderson is a star of the competition. Will be right up there in the Brownlow, I think. He's a captain of a club. And so, yeah, moments like that, themes like that, started to emerge pretty quickly in the game, which I was happy about. Unfortunately, the stagnant way in which the Blues play, it just comes to the fore. And a team like the Suns are just positioned and connected with each other so well to counteract it. Halftime, I wasn't too down and out about the game. The third quarter is where, for me, I can't watch it. I can't stomach it. When it gets to that point of uncompetitiveness, which I thought it did. So many goals, so many missed opportunities. When players, Lockie Fogarty, bless him, but fuck, 20 metres out directly in front, I think he might have some demons, because it's happened a couple of times. But, when that's happening, and then the Suns are going end to end straight after any mistake that we make in kicking goals, and when the margin blew out to 48 points, it got so uncompetitive that I couldn't stomach it. I just hated it. So I was enjoying the footy, and then in that third quarter, just watching the body language of the players come off the field, lots of negative, lots of, fuck this, and they're obviously down and out. They don't want to be losing, but I just saw it all build up, and I just couldn't watch it. I hated it. I can't. I really struggle to stomach it when it gets to that point of uncompetitive, and the sting in the game is completely gone. And I know that it's a dead rubber, and I know that we're not playing finals, and I understand that. But yeah, when it gets to 48 points and it looked like what it did in the third, I switch off. Yeah, so we get to three-quarter time, and yeah, I went home. I was done. Watched the rest of it on my phone, and then there was a spirited comeback, and for 15, 20 minutes in the fourth, there was some life and there was a pulse. It was so interesting to watch the mental shift of the game. So the Suns, clearly, they had done such a great job of dominating the game, and I think subconsciously some of their players thought that the job was done, which it was. And you just saw in the fourth quarter the Blues move forward and attack each contest with vigor, and you saw the Suns just hesitate for just a split second, almost to self-preserve and not get injured and just get through to the next week. And that can happen. That happened against Brisbane a few weeks ago, and I think we kicked 2 or 3 in a row. But then Brisbane kicked the goal to just steady it, and the Suns never kicked that goal. And then all of a sudden, 2 becomes 3, becomes 4 in a row, becomes Francis Evans, becomes Ashton Moyer, becomes confidence. And then before you know it, the Blues have kicked 6 in a row. So from that point of view, yeah, like a little heartbeat and, something for the supporters to look at and smile about, and, maybe it's something, maybe it's a little heartbeat, maybe, a little bit of effort, but I just can't fully get there with it. Of course, I'm happy to see Cooper Lord show some signs. I'm happy to see Francis Evans play well. Like, I liked some of the individual things that I saw. And then, even watching the press conferences, Vossi was, full of praise for the individuals. And I guess it just reinforces the image of where we're at. Like, you're going poorly when you start relying on individual performances to carry the positivity. So overall, I'm disappointed because it was a missed opportunity in the end. Don't know how you look at it, but I just think we played at the level for 25% of that game in total. Maybe 10 minutes at the start of the game and sort of 20 minutes in the fourth. I thought the third quarter was just so uncompetitive. It's unacceptable to me. It doesn't matter who's out there. I really struggle to watch it when it gets like that. So from that point of view, it's very disappointing. But also, I understand, the season's gone, and I'm kind of relieved that one's out of the way. Subconsciously, I felt that the Suns were the only team left that could really make the game uncompetitive like that. I don't want to talk too early. I do think that we can be a bit more competitive for longer against Port Adelaide and Essendon, and that's where it is for me subconsciously. But yeah, it's done. It was a good day at the footy. Had some really good conversations with some random people, which I really enjoyed. Actually, I enjoyed going and seeing what the evening would bring, without knowing who would be there and who'd be sitting near me or next to me. So, yeah, that was that. We'll move forward. We'll go along, and it's as I said earlier, the thing about the coach is just so interesting to me. So a lot of conversations that I had around it with everyone. It's so funny. So the decision gets made. The indecision around the coach is gone now. We know that they've backed him in until, he'll do another preseason and he'll start next year, and we'll see what happens. But you just start to see the thoughts spiral. Did he really make the call? Was it really Graham Wright's recommendation? All sorts of theories. And I think at the end of the day, this just comes back to a lack of trust to the football club. And that's just what it is. So I don't know what's right and what's wrong. What I believe is that there was more than enough time to gather the information that was needed to make a fully informed decision. And a fully informed decision has been made. And we'll see if it's the right one. From what I'm watching out there last night and really this season, and based on what's happening on the field, it's hard to see. But at the end of the day, there's more to the picture of the Carlton Football Club than what we see clearly on game day. So there's clearly other things that are going to take a priority for what needs to change. So we'll strap in for that. More information will come on that as we go, and we'll go from there. How did you watch the game? Where did you watch the game? How did you see the game? Are you positive about the sprinklings and the green shoots? Are you disappointed with the result? How did you absorb it? I gathered a pretty mixed bag on the fan cams last night. I must say there was, you choose what you focus on, and at the end of the day, you choose whether you want to be happy or whether you want to be disappointed. So, what do you attach yourself to in round 22, and what's your summary? Chat to you soon. Go Blues.